Good evening, and welcome to my show, Moni's 11 Alive Late Breaking News. Today we have a very, what we call, special guest on my show. He's a first-timer, and first of the show to begin with, I would like to introduce the audience to Tanner Carnebogue. He's on the show to clear up the air tonight, as there have been a lot of recent allegations explaining him as a failure, the biggest bust of all time, a terrible manager, and Ted Bundy. Tanner, good to meet with you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
I don't want you talking. Tanner, welcome to my show. Thank you for being the first on it. It is truly a pleasure to have you here. And it's going to give you a great chance to clear up the air. I know there's a lot of recent allegations, and they're not too pretty. I know you didn't score too well last week. I know we're going into a new recent week. So I'd like to ask you, what happened? What happened to you?
Well, the boys didn't perform for me last week. Mm-hmm. That's all you can really say. You look back at the numbers. This could have happened. That could have happened. But that's not who I am. Mm-hmm. As you know, I'm going to move forward. What makes me great is I look ahead to the future, not what's happened in the past. But that's why I've agreed to come on the show. I do have couple bones to pick and a couple people to attack.
Yes. That leads me to my next question. Moving on into Week 11, it's a big week. I believe you're going into a bit of what we would call an easy week, but now it's almost a hard week. Your opponent, Pruner, a.k.a. Crab's Legs for Dinner. He's always, he's a very cocky son of a bitch, and he's sort of written you and your team off. How do you feel about that?
Pruner. What of a joke of a human. Same kid last week, passes out 10-15. Boys back together, passes out 10-15. First one. Shoeless on the golf course. I mean, we're talking about that kid, Anthony Pruner. Same one who thought when you test negative for COVID, you have it. I mean, the kid's irrelevant. I mean, congrats, buddy. You got 4 wins in the past 2 seasons, and you're coming at me? He's a joke. Absolute joke. Fuck you, Pruner.
Well, speaking of stupidity, you did, however, claim in Week 2, I'm sure you were feeling pretty good coming off a big win, that you were open to no trades. Mm-hmm. And I would like to think back on that and how you've progressed through the season. Has anything changed? Do you regret anything? And how'd that play out to you moving forward and to where you are right now?
I regret absolutely nothing there. I mean, 2 of your top picks go down to injury on Week 3. Nothing you can do there. I don't regret saying that statement.
You almost hope it's a sprain.
You do almost hope it's a sprain. To quote the great Tony Romo when he said that. Yeah, I mean, 2 of my top players went down. What do you want me to do? But, that's the way it goes, and got to move forward from there.
It's not what they say. You can't let it get to you. However, we do have one manager. He's a terrible manager, never been good. Don't really like the guy at all. His name's Hunter Sullenberger. He didn't have too many good things to say about you, claiming that he would like to beat your ass, that you're a tiny bitch, and again, that you're Ted Bundy. Do you have anything to say to him?
First of all, is he in our league? Is he actually in our league?
I think we let him in.
He's in our league.
I think we let him in.
What's he look like?
Tall fella.
Clumsy? When you run away, if you kind of jog away from him, he might trip over and fall.
Yes, yeah. Don't get into his center of gravity, and you're good.
1, didn't know the kid was in the league. 2, check his record last year. Not too hot. Mm-hmm. Number 3, you know where I live, Soli. Like, get up here, come up here, fucking challenge me, you piece of shit.
So taking that momentum forward to the next question, how are you preparing for this week? You got COVID going on. Players may be out.
Absolutely.
What's it looking on the waiver wire for you? It's already Wednesday. Some Thursday night matchups, they've been moved, they've been postponed. What's going on for you? How are you preparing? How are you rallying the troops?
So last week, like I said, production at an all-time low. Some players did not show out for me, including 2 of my star receivers, Julio, love you Julio, and Juju, great receivers. Didn't turn out. But I made a big acquisition on the waivers last week by someone named Hot Rod. You know who he is. From the University of Georgia, undrafted. He was the best kicker in the draft, should have been drafted, wasn't. Got him out there. 12 points last week. Looking for him to have a big week for me this week. Colts love driving the ball down there. Sometimes they'll convert in the red zone. Going to give me some points out there. Not saying I'm relying on the kicker, but those are the little slight moves I'm making that are going to grind me through to not get last place in this league.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
I'm now at the point where I'm just trying to grind not to get last place. That's where we're at right now.
Yes. And speaking of last place, there's been a lot of speculation around the league as to if you have prepared anything in advance for your 5-minute stand-up comedy sketch. Do you have anything in place? Do you have an opening line? How are you going to relate to the people? Have you written anything down? What's going on your side of the park?
I don't prepare for things that will never happen.
Well, it's a very real possibility,
It's
sir.
not a real possibility.
It's a very real possibility.
It's not. A lot of people in the mix.
Sir, I
my
have your
team said.
stats up here. It's a very real possibility.
It's not. Read them out.
Well, you're only one loss away from being tied for last.
Yeah. It's a great point. But what if you lose this week? What if Cuckoo loses this week?
Well, I'm what you call a progressive manager. I like to make plays here and there. I like to pick people up, and I truly believe in.
Are you self-promoting on your own show? I will not prepare anything.
So what
I
happens
know
when
it
you
will not be.
lose?
It won't be. That won't come to fruition. That will not come to fruition.
So you'll take it to the high courts.
I will take it to the high courts.
Well, Tanner, didn't end it on a great note, but I'll thank you for
Did you
coming
fart?
on.
Do you seriously fart? Mm-mm. Okay. It smells.
Tanner, I recently just told you to shut up while I'm speaking.
Okay.
I was thanking you for coming on the show and being the first guest. I really want to take that back now, but I already said it.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, 11 Live, late-breaking action news. Tanner, before you go, you did score the lowest points.
I did.
And you know what we have in store for you. We have our Pledge Jackson picker pick you up a little Smirnoff Ice. And, we'd like to get everything, clear the air with anything you'd like to say, and then just go ahead and sip on that ice.
So, like I said, I don't run away from what happened. I had the lowest points. It happened, but you got to go up from here. A lot of rumbles from Sleepy Prune. Dude's passing out at 10 p.m. last weekend. Haven't seen him in a couple months. They're excited to see Pruner, and what does he do? He crawls off with his bunions at fucking 10 p.m. and falls asleep drunk. I mean, it's unbelievable. More than that, there's a lot of people in the mix right now to get last place. I'm not worried. That's why I came on the show. Not afraid of facing what's wrong. God. Cheers. Happy Thanksgiving. Fuck you, Pruner. Hey, fuck you too, Mike. You're averaging like 98 points a week and you're in the playoff position, so fuck you too, Mike.
We'll cut that and we'll just send it right back. Act like you never stopped.
No. Get the cut in here.
Get the cut in there. All right.
Jackson got me fucking green apple.
Yep, green apple.
Oh, God.
There it is.